Hey, what's up everybody? I decided to throw in some commentary for this Dawn of Sorrow Julius any% speedrun. As of this upload, this is the current world record, and it's also the most optimized category for Dawn of Sorrow in general. This is true any%, so anything goes. Skips, glitches, memory corruption, whatever. As we'll see, this category is super broken, but it does have some cool stuff. For example, it actually gives Julius a chance to shine. There is no Yoko here. She is too far out of the way to recruits. Like with Soma mode speedruns, the main form of movement here is chaining backdash into double jump dive kick. This pretty high APM, tough to do well. Now, per dive kick, it hardly saves any time. However, it does add up to a few seconds over the course of the run, so you've got to go for it and just hopefully not miss any backdashes. Here we have Dario, who's the first and only real boss of the run. Trust me, you'll see what I mean later. Because Julius's whip has a high number of iframes, there's a cap on how quickly you can attack. So the way we optimize this fight is to whip, then backdash, then use holy water at the right spacing to get 4 hits in. As always, the manip is very effective, and as always, Dario thinks this is all completely hilarious. After Dario, there's a bit of experience routing going on here. I have to kill the right number of enemies as quickly as possible to set up an off-screen level up with Alucard, who's gonna join us momentarily. Alright, that is the end of Julius's contribution to the any% speedrun. Everyone say bye, Julius, bye! With that combination of Hellfire and the teleportation super attack, we are now out of bounds. And while you're out of bounds, you can basically hack the game in real time. Here's the deal. We want to travel in a specific way that will 1. Unlock the warp point in the abyss, and 2. Give us a ridiculous amount of strength and intelligence. A few parts of this are definitely precise, and I've lost plenty of runs from messing up the out of bounds portion, but mostly we're just moving from right to left. So keep your eye on the map screen. Oh, did I mention this whole process takes about 7 minutes? Yeah, we got some time to kill. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the Wikipedia entry for this great game, and maybe we'll learn something. Here we go. Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow is a 2005 action role-playing game developed and published by Konami. It is part of Konami's Castlevania video game series, and the first Castlevania game released on the Nintendo DS. The game is the sequel to Castlevania Aria of Sorrow and incorporates many elements from its predecessor. Dawn of Sorrow was commercially successful. It sold more than 15,000 units, that's not very much, in its first week in Japan, and 164,000 units in the United States during the 3 months after its initial release. I don't know, that sounds pretty low to me. Anyway, moving on. Dawn of Sorrow continues the story of Aria of Sorrow. Dracula has been defeated, with his powers assumed by his reincarnation, Soma Cruz. Spoilers. With the help of his allies, Soma avoids becoming the new Dark Lord. A cult forms to bring forth a new one by killing Soma. Soma and his allies move to ensure that does not happen. This is not the best written Wikipedia article I've ever seen. Dawn of Sorrow incorporates many features from earlier Castlevania games. The combination of elements from platform games and role-playing video games, the quote-unquote tactical soul system featured in Aria of Sorrow, and a dark, gothic atmosphere. Dawn of Sorrow introduces gameplay elements like the magic seal system, which requires the use of the DS stylus to draw a pattern to defeat powerful enemies. A distinctive anime character design, what's anime? And a multiplayer mode, where 2 players compete for fastest times on a pre-rendered level. The game received high scores from many video game publications and was considered one of the best games on the Nintendo DS for 2005. I think that's an editing mistake. They meant to say one of the best games ever made. The game was re-released in Japan in June 2006, and later in North America during 2007 as part of the Konami The Best line. I think we've all seen that infamous box art. It's a good one. It's a classic. The game was re-released as part of the Castlevania Dominus Collection on August 27, 2024. Actually, let's go ahead and jump to the development section of the Wikipedia entry, because there's some good stuff here. The production of Dawn of Sorrow was announced on January 6, 2005, as the first Castlevania game to be released on the Nintendo DS. Longtime Castlevania producer Koji Igarashi was in charge of the production. The choice to develop the game for the Nintendo DS instead of the Sony PlayStation Portable was due to Aria of Sorrow's success on Nintendo's Game Boy Advance, and Igarashi's observations of both consoles during the 2005 E3 Media and Business Summit. RIP E3. He felt it was a waste to use the storyline with Soma Cruz and the Tactical Soul system in only one game. Agreed. Contributing to his desire to make a sequel. The original design team from Aria of Sorrow, as well as the personnel from Konami Tokyo, were involved in the production of Dawn of Sorrow. Igarashi intended to include a white-collar Japanese worker in the game. This worker would be a manager in a Japanese firm and have a family. However, the development team's opposition to this idea forced him to drop it. Intriguing. The use of the technical features of the Nintendo DS was one of the production team's principal concerns during development. The DS touchscreen was a primary point of interest. Several functions, such as picking up items on the screen and moving them, were originally intended to be incorporated into the game. However, scheduling problems forced the development team to abandon many of these ideas. So it could have been a lot worse than just ice blocks. Igarashi's primary concern with using the touchscreen was that it would detract from, quote, the Castlevania pure action gameplay, since the player would have to slow down play to use the stylus. Thank you, Iga. The DS microphone was looked at during development, but Igarashi noted that although he found humorous uses for it, it was never seriously considered for inclusion in the game. That might have been fun for like a gimmick soul, but if that had any kind of relevance to the core gameplay, that could have been a disaster. Oh hey, Alucard is back. Well, if you've made it this far into the video, thank you for watching, and please enjoy the epic conclusion to this exciting speedrun.